Layoffs. Ugh, it's a word that, let's be honest, nobody likes to hear. For decades, it's just been this painful, accepted part of business. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if we could completely change what a layoff even means? Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating idea that proposes a whole new way to think about this entire process.
So, before we can really get into the solution, we have to appreciate just how deep the problem goes. Because it's never just about one person losing their job. A layoff creates these waves, right? And they spread much farther than you'd think.
The hard truth is, layoffs hurt. Well, pretty much everyone. It's not just that single moment of loss for the person who's leaving. The damage actually ripples outwards, hitting the coworkers left behind, and even the company itself in ways we often don't even talk about. And that damage, it's all over the place. The company's brand, it takes a serious hit. All that money and time spent training amazing talent, poof, it walks right out the door. For the workers, you're now staring at a gap in your resume. Your skills might get a little rusty, and back at the office, innovation just grinds to a halt in all the chaos. It really is a lose-lose-lose situation.
Okay, so when you're looking at a picture that grim, the creators of this model asked a pretty radical question. Instead of just trying to manage the damage, what if we could completely re-engineer the whole event?
And here it is. This is the core idea that just flips the whole script. What if you could take a layoff and turn it into a measurable win? A win for the company, a win for the employee, and a win for the community. I know it sounds a little too good to be true, but the model they've come up with is surprisingly straightforward. It all comes down to these three simple but really powerful words: redeploy, measure, and capture. This is the heart and soul of this EmpowerForge idea. It's like a mantra for a totally new way of doing things. So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of just sending skilled people home, you redeploy them. You put them on short-term, high-impact projects with nonprofits or on internal innovation challenges. Then you measure their contribution, the hours they put in, the results they get, and that becomes a tangible win for the company's social impact goals. And finally, you capture all the great insights and ideas from this talent that you would have otherwise just lost forever. All right, so that's the big idea, but how would it actually work in the real world? Well, the process itself is designed to be incredibly simple. The whole thing basically boils down to 4 steps. First, you bring in the displaced talent. Second, you match them to projects where their skills can really make a difference. Third, you track what they're doing, their hours, their impact. And finally, all that data gets rolled into a monthly report for the company. It's designed to be simple, direct, and really, really effective. Now, having a cool concept is one thing, but proving it actually works, that's another. So this proposal includes a super lean pilot program to show its value, like right away, a 30-day experiment. So to prove this concept works, they're not talking about some massive multi-year project. Nope. The whole experiment is designed to run for just 30 days. And you'd only need a small, totally manageable group of maybe 10 to 20 workers to get it off the ground. But get this, the goal is to generate a real quantifiable social impact of over $35,000 in that short time. It is all about proving the value and proving it fast. And the goal of this pilot is crystal clear. Prove the model's value in under a month using tools you already have. There's no complex software you have to build, no long drawn-out integration. It's all built for speed and immediate results. So let's tie this all back together. Remember those 4 big problems we talked about at the very beginning? Well, this model is specifically designed to tackle every single one of them. It's about creating a win on 4 different fronts. See, the real payoff here isn't just about damage control, right? It's not just minimizing a negative. It's about actually creating multiple, tangible, positive outcomes for everybody involved. So what does winning on 4 fronts actually look like? Well, instead of brand damage, you're showing you're a company that cares, even in tough times. You get real, reportable social contributions to back up your company values. You turn that brain drain into a boomerang talent pool, keeping folks engaged for future rehires. And maybe most importantly, you capture all those incredible ideas that would have just walked out the door forever. And the pitch deck kind of leaves us with this really powerful call to action. It frames this whole idea not as some defensive HR move, but as a forward-thinking innovation strategy. It's a challenge, really, to see a problem as a massive opportunity. Which leaves us with a final, big-picture question to chew on. Is this just a clever idea for a few progressive companies? Or could this model be the start of a fundamental shift in how we think about the entire life cycle of talent? Could the end of one job become the beginning of something new, something even more impactful? It's a pretty fascinating thought for the future of work.